Hi all, hope you're doing well. This is Maro, welcome to my channel. So I went ahead and got Munchen, the German Tier 7 light cruiser. I played some games yesterday and today I had a chance to play another one or two, so maybe in total I played around 15 games or so. I really enjoyed Mainz, so hoping that this is something similar to Mainz, I was keen to get the ship and get it out in random battles and see how it does. So this video, my initial impressions, a gameplay of one of the battles where I actually did well, because I think there are a few more where things didn't go as well, and just some first impressions. So first about the ship. German Tier 7 light cruiser. In terms of armor, it's really thinly armored. I think the front section is 16 millimeters. I think the notable things are the angled citadel, which potentially could present a non-overmatched section of the ship. Now, I've gotten citadel a few times, so I'm not sure how effective it is, but it's there. And also on the tail end there is a 30 millimeter section that is like an iceberg but in the back. Now I guess that could help with 406 millimeter shells not overmatching and getting to the citadel. That being said, the ship is quite squishy, so it's a lot of firing from distance and angling and kiting and dodging. Now in terms of guns, it has 850 millimeter guns in 4 two-gun turrets, firing every 5 seconds. The firing angle in the front, I think it's around 32 degrees, in the back 34 degrees, which is okay. You're able to bring all your guns to bear, but it's in between when somebody's shooting at you, that's important to get done. In terms of torps, it has 2 4-torp launchers, one on each side, 6K distance. I think a lot of other German ships have that, so nothing new there. AA, it's okay. If it's a tier 6 CV, you're doing fine because you also have a fighter. If it's tier 8, stay closer to someone. It's not great AA, but it's okay. In terms of concealment, it's pretty good concealment with the captain skill and the camouflage. It comes down to 9.5, I believe, kilometers, which is pretty good. Maneuverability, it's a fast ship. Top speed 36. You add a flag, you're going even faster. I think close to 38 knots. In terms of turning, the rudder shift, because I have the rudder shift upgrade, is around 6.6 seconds. So that feels fast, but somehow when I'm turning around, it feels to me like as if it's taking a really long time to get anywhere. Now, in comparison to Mainz is a tougher ship. It can withstand more punishment. I also think Mainz has 4 torp launchers, so 2 on each side. Not that you're going to really try and use those torps, too much, but it's just that with Mainz you can almost be sure that whenever you engage somebody, you're going to be able to take them out. Here, if it's a battleship, 4 torps, you may do some damage, but it's not necessarily a devastating strike. In terms of guns, obviously Mainz has more of them, 12 versus 8. It also has shells that go faster. So here in this ship, firing at targets long range that are actively evading is not an easy task. I'm maybe an average to maybe slightly okay shooter in terms of targeting and hitting the targets, and sometimes I struggle, especially when it's a cruiser, in which case it's not easy to land some shots, and I think you'll see that later. Now here, was a unique opportunity that there is a battleship coming down, and I'm in the perfect position to try those torps. So I think this is actually the first time in 15 games that I got to use those torps. And I tried to line it up, try to use 4, and there they go. We'll see how it goes. Now I think what I should have done is probably go in the other direction and try to launch the other 4. Instead, I'm trying to kind of go away, escape from 5 kilometers. I'm not sure that's very successful. But I was lucky. There are a lot of support ships here, and it seems that the battleship is focused on another cruiser right next to me instead of me. Shooting with the guns, obviously HE. Probably should have used AP in retrospect here. Because HE is quarter for Germans, so it's 38 millimeters. You know, I mean, this is not really that far, and you know, easy to hit, and shells travel somewhat, but it's nothing too bad. Anyway, this was the first time I got to use the torps in this context, so yes, I was happy about that. I don't expect that I will have a lot of opportunities to do that in the future. You know, short range, maybe a cruiser here, or I don't know, with destroyer when you want to make the destroyer dodge, but I think that's about it. Now you also have a hydro. It's a pretty good hydro. I think it's 5.5 kilometers for ships, 375 kilometers for torps. So that's pretty good. I equipped it. The other option would be the DFAA. You know, sometimes there are quite a few CV games now, and I know a lot of people are not too keen on the DFAA. Sometimes for me it's you know, debatable. I mean, you do have good concealment here, and theoretically you could try and stay closer to DDs, in which case if you're helping your DD cap or engage another DD, it may be good to have hydro, or maybe for other ships on your team. So I've used it a few times. I'm not entirely sure if, you know, it's still the best thing or not. So here, my team, for whatever reason, I'm not sure what they're trying to do. I guess they would like to engage the red team there, but they're kind of all crowded in one part of the map. But, you know, I did what you're supposed to do, or what I think you're supposed to do with this ship, which is, you know, shoot and kite. And if you can find a BB, so much the better. Trying to start some fires and try to do some damage. Here, the Piotr Veliki is like, you know, he's trying to, I think, dodge a little bit, but he's also not going as fast, so he's making it a little easier to hit him. And I think there is a light cruiser here that's targeting me, which brings me to the health pool for the ship. All you get is 30,200, and I mentioned that when it comes to armor, it's not really well armored ship. And in quite a few games, I've been hit, and you know, I will dodge, and then bam, either a big chunk of my health or a sit. And the angle, you know, not sure it really matters. If the shell goes in, it kind of goes in. It overmatches everything, especially the 16-inch shell, which makes it even harder to play this ship, you know, because you have 30,000 health, you lose a third or more, and it's you feel it, because you can't really engage a lot of even cruisers. I feel that if you start engaging them one-on-one, it's not going to work out really well for you. So it's better to engage when you can, and it's even better to disengage or look for some cover if you can find some. So here, this Dallas, I fired quite a lot of shots on this Dallas trying to hit him. I'm not sure he's doing a lot, and the distance is whatever that is, maybe, I don't know, 110 kilometers or something, and still I'm struggling to hit him. And you know, having played 15 games, really, I'm not sure it's trying to get used to the ship. I'm not even sure it's the ship's fault. It may just be me and you know, struggling to hit things. And I tried to kind of mix it up with the AP, and perhaps should have stayed with HE. I looked some of these, and you know, I mean, it looks like, oh wow, this is going to be a perfect shot, and I'm expecting citadels, but in the last moment he moves around, and all I get is one hit, another pen. I guess this is more my aiming than anything else. Nevertheless, even at this close range, I'm struggling a little bit. Now again, take into consideration, I'm a casual, maybe average player. So if you are in my category, perhaps you can expect some of that as well. If you're better, you can probably compensate for it and try to get more. But just looking at the stats of the 15 games I already played, I have maybe a 30% hit rate on my main battery here on the ship, which is not that high. I mean, sometimes what I expect to see is anywhere 30 to 35, maybe even higher. Here it's just under 30%. So that may be the combination of trying to engage ships at distance and firing these shells, and they take a little longer to get to the target, which allows the ship to either evade or requires the player to be a better shot. I guess something just to keep in mind. In terms of fire starting capability, I started a decent amount of fires, but I don't feel it was necessarily maybe as many as I would want to. So I didn't experience, French levels of fire starting capability. End up shooting quite a while and quite a lot to start fires, and not as an easy task. And I think even here in this game, in the end, I think the amount of damage that I actually caused from the fires is, I don't know, maybe 20% or so. Somehow I would have expected and hoped to have done more. Then now again, it could be because of the game, it could be because of my playstyle or how I play this game, so it's not necessarily representative. But you do damage because you have the higher pen values, 38 millimeters on the HE. But and you do start fires, but it's not just fire a salvo and start 2 or 3 fires. Now I did have that happen once, so it does happen, but it's not something I experienced on an ongoing basis. Now here, my team that went up in the west had a problem, obviously, and has been eliminated. CV and I are left down here on this flank. I think Grafspe is not playing, so either got disconnected or I'm not sure what happened, but the player is not there. Here I'm being attacked by tier 6 CV, and for the most part I'm able to manage that. I think you get 3 fighter planes, but because of my captain build, it has an extra plane, so it's 4. Here, I guess, to some extent, I guess you could say that I'm also lucky with these battleships, or unlucky, right? Because ship like this typically does the best when being pursued by battleships, because it allows it. Now I got that Sid, and honestly I'm not clear what is that from. It must have been from whatever cruiser maybe was there that I fired at once, because I fired quite a few shells at the Piotr battleship, but I find it hard to believe that I was able to sit it with my HE shells. So yes, going back to the point of farming damage, the requirement is to have battleships pursuing you, and then it allows you with the speed to dictate the distance, and also it allows you greater ability to try to dodge their shells and so on, or even better if they're shooting at somebody else, and then just keep farming them. In cases where they're keeping out of range and where they are, going away, which is the case with any ship anyway. But here also is, you pursue, you can't necessarily shoot while you're following them. You have to turn around and then position yourself so that you have your back guns and you're going away from them and so on, which it just makes it very challenging because pursuing them and shooting, not necessarily the best way to employ your firepower here. So now we're left with CV and me on this flank, and we have the 2 battleships on the other flank. Although it says 5 ships, I guess effectively it's 4. And they have 7 ships. So things are kind of looking bleak for us. Our battleship was able to take their CV, which was right there. No, CV wasn't really that big of an issue for me, so I'm not sure, how great that is. But still, 1 ship less, equalizing the game. I decide, you know what, I'm going to go up there and try to help my BBs before they're gone. At least try to, inflict as much damage as we can. We're 100 points behind. And here, and this may have been a mistake actually, shouldn't have done this. For whatever reason, I fixated on Helena. I was afraid that she will be able to burn my battleships up there. And I wanted to either engage her, distract her, or do as much damage. But honestly, the better thing to do here would have been to keep engaging the Piotr Veliki, because it's a battleship and he could do more damage, but my battleships were able to take him out. But here you can see how hard it is for me to hit this dodging cruiser. I will fire so many shells at her, and here and there I'll be able to land some, but nothing that would seriously harm her. I mean, you can see like how long those shells travel. I mean, I send them and they keep going and going and going. It's like watching rain in slow motion. I guess in a way it's almost like maybe Atlanta's shell arc. And I don't know if it's speed, probably not, because Americans' shell speed tends to be one of the slowest. In any case, this, I think it's a great example of how hard it is to hit actively dodging ships for an average player. Better player may be able to land more shots and take them out, but for me, it was a struggle. And I think in the end, I got closer a little bit to Ganaez now. But even then, he's at the edge of my range. So now we're still 4 ships. Versus... no, it's 3 ships, yeah, because the graph space out. 3 versus 4 in this case. My battleship is still there, so I decided to engage this battleship here and just try to start some fires and, get into my kiting position and hope for the best here. I mean, as it stands here. So Piotr Veliki took our Nelson battleship and our Nelson took the Helena. So we are basically behind 3 points right now, and just trying to engage the battleship. Thankfully our CV was able to do some more damage. This should not be that difficult even for me to start landing some shots here, and when I see that the battleship has fired, I try to dodge and then really just kind of use my back guns, start a fire here. But very important to finish him off, so I will just keep shooting until he's down, and he does go down, and that swings the points in our direction. And I think now it's just an issue of, all right, let's stay alive and we'll win this game. So this is an example of Munich in a random battle. It's one of my much better random battles, because fighting against tier 9 ships, super difficult. Honestly, even in this one, I feel with this ship, you always earn every little last bit of experience you get. It just doesn't come easy sometimes with a ship, and that could be just, me clicking with the ship or not, but sometimes it just feels like my god, this is so easy, just stay here and do as much damage as you can. Whenever I'm playing the ship, I feel like I've earned every XP point I got in this ship. Now, I will play this ship a lot more because there is the free mission going through, I don't know, October 20 something. So I'm trying to get some extra XP. But I don't know if I would call it enjoyable or workman-like kind of experience. It's, you know, joy factor, Mainz. Honestly, it feels almost closer to Okachev, or is it Ochakov? I always forget the name of the Russian Tier 8 cruiser. It feels that way in terms of struggle and fighting, trying to get damage, and maybe it has to do with the 8 guns. So if you don't have Mainz, I would, my personal opinion or what I like, I would say Mainz is a better ship and it's more fun to play. If you had maybe Okachev, and you enjoy the ship, you know, this ship then tends to be closer to that. So it's almost as if, you know, Mainz and Ochakov had a preemie baby in a way. That's how this ship feels to me. It feels capable and competent in the right, very right hands, but you gotta work it. It's not gonna come just easy in terms of XP and wins and points. Well, in any case, that's the video. Hope you liked it. Hope to see you on the high seas. Best of luck. Maro out.